Hi everyone, I'm Brian Welk with TheWrap, and I'm here with Matt Walsh. He's the star of Veep, and he's also the star of the new film Under the Eiffel Tower. Matt, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us about this movie, how you got involved. This is a very cute, little, fun rom-com.
Under the Eiffel Tower is a romantic comedy where I play a bourbon salesman who loses his job, goes to France on the invitation of his friend David Wayne to forget about things. They're celebrating David Wayne's daughter's graduation from grad school. She's an art history major. We get to Paris. I'm so drunk with romance. That city is so powerful. And she offhandedly, the daughter offhandedly says, let's just run away together. And I think, let's do that. I'll fix my life that way. He proposes to the daughter, alienates the family. Michaela Watkins, really funny. She plays the mom. So I ruin their vacation. I stumble on a drinking bender and run into Reed Scott, who plays a broken down soccer player. We go on a drinking binge through Europe and stumble into a vineyard where we meet Judith Godresh, the girl that we both compete for.
It's a good little cast that you have here. I mean, how did you come to this project, and what made you respond to the script?
Honestly, it was sent to me by Archie Borders, who wrote it with a guy named David Henry. They live in Louisville, and he said, we're making this movie in France, and I'm like, can I bring my family? And he said, yeah, and I'm like, great, let's do it. Like, I was excited to get over there. And then as the project developed, I met Judith, and I became a producer, and so it was fun to challenge ourselves to make, because romantic comedies have those things you have to hit, so you really have to do your work so it doesn't feel so mechanical.
And your Veep co-star Reed Scott is in this, and Gary Cole.
Yep.
But I mean, Reed Scott is doing like a Scottish accent in this movie. Did you know that he had that in him as a performer? Yeah.
Reed is one of those people on Veep, whenever they need someone to play at the table read, if they need someone to play an actor who isn't there, they'll just plug Reed in, because he can do an impression of Gary Cole, he can do an impression of whoever. Like, he's a really good mimic.
Really?
Yeah, he's really good with dialect, so I knew he would be great. And it was, because it was a last minute sort of thing where it was like 3 weeks before we were leaving, and the guy that we thought we wanted, we didn't want anymore, and I said, come on, come with us. And he's like, I'll go. So it was an opportunity for him, and he's great in the movie. And same with David and Michaela. I know both of them, and they were eager to come to France. And I think the simple version of what the movie is I like to say it's the reverse Beauty and the Beast. So she is the Beast in a lonely little town in France, windows drawn in her castle, not happy. I'm the Beauty. I stumble in, bring lightness and air to that stodgy little castle and give her something to live for.
And one of the other things I liked about this movie, so your character, he can cook, he can paint, he knows a lot about bourbon,
yeah,
and he can open a bottle of wine with just
a shoe.
I'm wondering, well, first of all, I don't know how you learned to do that, or where that came from. But
that's something that Archie and David put in the script, and I remember reading. I'm like, "What are you talking about? How is this going to happen?" And originally it was on a wall. I'm like, and then I started YouTubing it, and lo and behold, you can. I think we may have sped it a little bit, but you just basically do exactly what we do in the movie, and you keep pounding it, and it slowly, the cork slowly comes out.
Life hack. There you go.
Yeah, it is a great life hack.
Are there any hidden talents that you have?
I am a good cook. I like to cook. I can stick to a recipe, and I can bake, and baking's very exact, so I'm good at that. I make a mean, Irish soda bread every Christmas and give it out for friends and family. Hidden talents, I can speak a little German, little Spanish, and I was a psych major, so I'm good at listening to people's problems. But I can't really get you on the road to recovery like a real doctor could, but I can at least listen.
So Veep is coming back. Are you surprised now that he even sometimes predicts the news cycle, or the showrunner
Dave Mandel?
Yeah, he shared a clip, as the shutdown was happening, that you guys did just the season earlier of Jonah being proud to have shut down the government.
Yeah, there's always something that accidentally comes true that we create as a joke or as a fiction, and then lo and behold, in the real world, I think there was a slogan that we had that Selena, for one of her campaigns, had a new slogan, and an Australian congressman was using it for his slogan. He adopted this terrible slogan. That was one thing that happened in real life. It's unfortunate that our politics are so terrible sometimes, because our show is, basically everyone on the show is terrible. So But it is surprising. There's always something new. I'm trying to think of another good one, but
How should fans expect the things should turn out for Mike? The end of last season, kind of a down note for him, ending up in like a high school classroom or something, and it's always nice when you get to be a little happier on set.
So yeah, he's on the other side. So it's funny to see him sort of behind the ropes because she's campaigning, when they're entering an event and he's like waving, and they're sort of like at odds with one another at the beginning of the season.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can tell you that.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume. Well, here's one thing. So one of the observations we've had, like over the course of the show, you're always eating something.
Yeah.
Like was that part of the character? I'm assuming.
Yeah, that was always in the thing. They always had him written as like very sweaty and messy, and eating a lot. So that was always written in as the character.
Is there something that was like the hardest thing to eat and to act on set?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think when I had to like eat as Mike. I think there was one take, season 2, where we were at like the Polish embassy, and I had to deliver a line with a bunch of food in my mouth. So I literally had to put a ton of food in my mouth every take, and that was like a long day. Because even though you don't swallow it, it's still like you're doing that all day.